What is this one saying? Let's see. Okay. Hey, hey. We are back live. We are back live. How is everybody? Me, runaway soldier. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And before you know it, 1 week has passed. But I'm happy. You can see that I'm happy that I'm here finally. Again to continue. And I think this is the final part. Not really. No, this cannot be the final part because I still need to tell you guys the accident that I had. Maybe we can do it also in this video. Let me go wear my rings. I was just washing. Let me leave it. Washing and I removed everything. Anyways, should I just take it? It's far away. Who is here? Let me know if you're here. Just say hi. Anyway, I'll just leave it. Let me go to the things that I didn't even transfer it to this phone. Okay. So definitely we'll do another part because I remember 1 or 2 things, but I don't think I can remember everything. So I'll just do the ones that I can remember. I didn't remember to transfer it here. I don't think I have it here. So we are just going to freestyle. I know some in my head. So we're just gonna talk about the ones that I remember, and other ones will come when next I come live. Okay, let's get started. What didn't we finish last time? I've been telling you guys some of the shocking things that I experienced or that I witnessed in Dubai. We've done like 2 series already, and this is like the 3rd one, and more coming because I definitely want to close with that accident that I had. Yeah, that accident that I just brushed off like whatever. This one is not going to spoil my fun. It was a serious accident, and the way I just took it lightly, when I came back here and told, for example, my colleagues about the accident, everybody was shaking like, you went through that? And even my husband was like, you know, he knows already that he has a crazy wife. He knows. So anyways, we'll talk about that maybe in another video. But if we have enough time tonight, then I can just do that on top of what I want to talk about. So the ones that I remember from Culture Shock, not really Culture Shock, but some of the things that I didn't expect. 1, the taxi rides. You guys know that almost every single day I was in the taxi. But I had to switch when I found out about the traffic situation in Dubai. Dubai traffic is not your mate. When I got there, I had no plans to rent a car. I had no plans. I actually had information of like a Dutch family that lives in Dubai that rents out bicycles. And I thought, oh, I was going to go there, do a video and rent a bike. But no, that didn't happen because there was just no time. So I was always taking the taxi, always, every single day. And every trip cost a minimum of 30 dirhams. And 30 dirhams is like 8 euros. Yeah, they're about 8 euros, which is like $10 every single trip. And I didn't feel it like that. I didn't feel it. I would feel it more here, you know, because I live here. I wouldn't do that every day. But on vacation, you don't really think deep about how you spend. You just go. You're like, okay, so what am I going to do? I'm not going to trek, so let me just do it. So I was doing it every day. And there was a day that I made that switch. I had an appointment and we sat in traffic for over an hour. And that was the day I knew I cannot do this. And you sat there, the taxi driver will not say, oh, I'm just going to turn off the meter because it's not your fault, so you don't have to pay. No, every second you sit in that taxi, you are paying. And it's good for the taxi man, but it's not good for your wallet. So traffic is mad. So I went to that appointment. I was late anyways, and I had to cross the highway just to get to the other side because eventually the people waiting for me were at the other side because I was going in like a group, tall group. They were at the other side of the road. So having to drive all the way to go and turn to go to the other side would have meant another 45 minutes, maybe 30 minutes in traffic. So the guy was like, "Madam, what do you want to do? You can get off here or come down here and cross over to the other side of the road, or I just drive, but we are just going to sit in traffic for a long time." I was like, you know what? Oh God. Me in the UAE, like mad. I would not even try that here in the Netherlands. And I was like, you know what? And you guys know that road. I think it was I don't think it was the Zaid Sheikh or Sheikh Zaid Road. I don't know, but it could have been. Anyways, I was like, because I could see the car on the other side of the road. And I was like, no, I'm not going to sit here for another 45 minutes. So I told him I was going to do it, and I got off. I paid. One thing before I continue, all the taxes, let me say 90% of the taxes in Dubai, you can pay with your credit card. I would say I started to worry about cash when I went to that local market. That is like the only place you'd have to think of, oh, I need to withdraw cash, oh, I need cash, I cannot pay with credit card. Every other place has provision for you to use your credit card, including the taxi. So that was like it just made a lot of things easy for me, and I think for lots of tourists, that you don't really have to. It's always advisable to have cash, to have local currency, of course, but if you don't, it's not like in the days of old that you'd be stuck, you'll be stranded, you can't pay because they don't know your currency. No, these days, like in the taxi, you're swiping your credit card. Every single taxi that I stepped into, no one told me, "Madam, you need cash." No one of them. So that was another part for me. And then I got off and I crossed on the main road. I think I took about 5 minutes to cross because my heart was beating and I was telling myself I could die. I was telling myself I could just die in Dubai. Like, I am here, my family is in the Netherlands, and I'm about to cross the highway. So I was standing there, and it was in the night. Although there was hold up, but the cars were moving, but not like, speedily. But I knew anything could happen. But I told myself, I'm not gonna miss that tour. And then, yes, I did. I crossed over to the other side and I flipped and I crossed and I crossed and I crossed those, those railings. And I got there. And the other people in the car were like, "You did that?" I told them I'm from the Netherlands and some of us are just crazy like that. That's one thing. So talking about the traffic, I don't know if I already mentioned that before. I said Lagos traffic is plain. So anyways, after that night, so when I got back that day, on my way back, or I think it was another trip, on my way back, there was traffic again. And usually I'll just go by taxi. And I told myself, instead of sitting down in the traffic for 1 hour, madam, why not go by bus and still sit down in the bus for 1 hour and not have to spend like 10 times the amount? So I just went to the metro station, got myself a bus card. I still have it. I don't know how long it's going to expire. Hopefully I still have it for some time. Let me not mention how long before I'm able to use it again. So I got myself a bus card very easily. I told them where I was going to. I didn't easily get on the bus. On that day, I waited 2 hours for the bus because of this same traffic. 2 hours at the station. But I told myself, when I go back to my hotel, I'm just going to sleep. So I don't have an appointment. So why am I in a hurry? Even if it takes 4 hours, but I sat there because okay, let me just tell you, the area, it's one bus that goes there, one bus, and it's the same bus that comes back. So it's not like one bus goes, another bus goes. No, it's the same bus that goes there that comes back to the station. So I stayed there because of traffic for 2 hours. Eventually the bus came. I was exhausted. Once the bus dropped me off, I just entered one cafeteria. Luckily, it's a very good neighborhood. You have shops that work all night. That's another pleasant thing about Dubai. You have 24-hour shops, like lots of them. It's not like here, you have special places where you can find 24 hours shops. You like in Amsterdam, like in the city center, in the middle of the city, you'd have shops like that. But in Dubai, it's it's almost regular. It's almost regular. I don't think okay, I don't think you can find them in the villages either, but it's common to have shops that are open 24 hours. And there was this cafeteria there, not in the shop but just on the road. I just went in there, got myself rice, chicken, coke, and I just went upstairs, ate, and went to bed. So that's another crazy no, not experience actually in Dubai with traffic and transportation. Which would be best, to hire a car or go by public transport or go by taxi? If you have an appointment, I'll just say go by taxi. So you are not late, because buses can disappoint, buses can go late, buses stop everywhere. They are not going to be as fast as taxis anyways, because taxis will take you exactly to where you have to go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Someone just gave me stars and I cannot see who did that. Oh wait, I think I can see. Janice! Oh my goodness! Thank you so much. Ah, baby, come to Dubai. Thank you, Janice. Thank you so much. So nice to see you this evening. Um, so wait, I don't even, this one is so dark. God. Safe. Okay, I can read everything. Yeah, so those are the two things that I remember that I'm like, oh my goodness. Taxis that you can pay easily, cashless. Traffic, the best way to travel if you have all the time is to go by public transport, in my opinion, from the little that I experienced. And I remember the first tour that I had, like the next day, I think the day I went for the Dubai City tour. I remember my pickup location was at the business tower, I think, World Trade Center, I think the World Trade Center metro station. That was my pickup location. And I got there and I was too early. You know, I was excited and everything. Oh, thank you. Someone says activate a stars party. Thank you. Thank you so much. Who did that? Wanda is in the building. Wanda is always loving on me. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. On this my small page. Thank you guys. Thank you. You know, anyways, I'll tell you guys another time. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. So I was really excited and I didn't want to be late because I wanted to keep the time. Every single tour had a time for pickup and drop off. So I was there. Like I was on the taxi. I was supposed to be there at a certain time, but I left home like 30 minutes earlier than when I should have left home, if that makes sense. Just to be sure that, Netherlands Dutchy style, always on time. I got there too early, and I was at the station. I was just sitting down at the station and I saw people going to work. I felt odd. That was my first outing in Dubai, because when I landed in the night. So I didn't really see much. It was just my taxi driver that took me to the accommodation, and I didn't see much. I didn't see so many people. It was late in the night. So the next morning was my first official day out in Dubai. And then for me to sit there at the metro station in the morning on a working day, and people were going to work. You know how commuters move now. Like on a working day, I can't remember which day did I travel. I know it was on a working day, but I don't remember which day of the week. It was busy at that station, and they were just all dressed up. You know how people go to work, just in a not really in a rush, but just facing their way, not looking around, not trying to be fancy, just going to work. And I felt so odd. Me all elegantly dressed up like like it was Sunday morning. And I felt like I was in another world. I think I've told you guys the story before. I felt almost like I didn't belong there. Like I was an odd egg in the middle of where I wasn't supposed to be. And I was just like in the middle of real life, because when you're on vacation, you are in that space of, okay, everybody here is on vacation. You're not even remembering that locals live there. People live there that just need to cook for their husbands, take their children to school. You almost don't remember, even if that's always the case everywhere. But then to now find yourself in the middle of the real people, not in the middle of tourists, real people. I sat there at the station and I was looking like, Madam, where are you going to? You know, all dressed. And I had this robe on, very bright colors, and the people were just in their work clothes. And somehow I started to feel a bit guilty, like, oh my God, all these people going to work, working hard, and me, I'm here all dressed up, looking like I don't have any problem in this life. But then I woke myself up. I was like, you see what all these people are doing now, going up and down, to catch their metro. I told myself, I have done it for all these months in the Netherlands. It's time for me to enjoy and rest. So I had to convince myself again that, why are you feeling guilty? Because they are working and right now you're taking a break. Maybe sometime they are also going to take a break, go to their hometown. So I just had to tell myself in my head, like, okay, this is their country. They have to work. When I go back to my country, I also have to work. But here, now, I'm in their country and I'm on a vacation. I'm on vacation. I'm not here to work. So I don't have to be like them now. So I just had to quickly tell myself, hey, snap out of it. So eventually my driver came and we left, and I felt better seeing other tourists in the bus, and I felt like, okay, this is what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, so those are like some of the things that really they have really stayed with me. So I think now I should just go to the accident, since I cannot remember everything that I wrote down that I want to talk about, which there is one particular one that I feel like, oh my God, this one is interesting, but I just can't remember it now. It's in this phone and I didn't transfer. Anyways, the accident that I had on the Persian Gulf, how I dropped, I went parasailing and I fell inside the water. Hey, when I talk about it, it's almost like, are you playing? I'm not playing. My worst nightmare. I think it's anybody's worst nightmare. That when you go paragliding, skydiving, parasailing, whatever, anything that has to do with you jumping off something or hanging in the air, your worst nightmare is, what if something goes wrong? What if the engine fails? What if the rope cuts? What if, you always ask yourself, what's that? You always ask yourself, what if? And then you convince yourself that no, everything is always well checked, well maintained, everything is fail safe. I have, an aeronautical engineering background. Everything is fail safe when it comes to, things that can really go south. Until it really goes south. With me, it did. And the funny part of it, this life, and sometimes we should be listening to our husband. So we women, we are stubborn. Me, I don't even know. I don't think I'm stubborn, but my husband thinks I'm stubborn. My husband thinks I don't listen until it goes wrong. But me, I don't think I'm stubborn. I just feel like, okay, I would really love to go skydiving. So the idea was to go skydiving before I switched to parasailing. Thank God that I listened to my husband, because I told him, I would go, because I gave him all the things that I would like to do there. And skydiving was one of the things. And he didn't find it he didn't find it exciting for me. I was excited about it. He didn't think it was a good idea. So I was like, and then that put fear in me. The way he reacted, it put fear in me, like, okay, what if truly, I'm all the way there, my husband and kids are home, and then I go, and what if, God forbid, something happens? And I told myself, prevention is better than cure. So I didn't book skydiving. What if I had booked skydiving and that thing that went wrong during parasailing went wrong during skydiving? No, imagine if it was my fate that on that day something would go wrong. What if something had gone wrong in different circumstances? What if? So that day I listened to my husband. Oh God, I don't know why I'm laughing about it, but it's funny what happened is not funny, but it happened in such a funny way that it should never have happened, but it happened. It's something nobody thinks would or can happen, but it happened. These things happen. People have accidents. You go on vacation, you want to do something adventurous, and when it's your turn, God forbid, it's not your portion. When it's your turn, that is when one stupid engine will know that it's about to fail. God forbid. So I booked parasailing. And of course, it was still in my mind that what if, but I kept telling myself, look, me, I cannot swim. I can play in water. I can swim a bit because I took swimming lessons. Because here in the Netherlands, it's compulsory, it's mandatory to know how to swim at a certain level. You need to get your A diploma. So I tried, but I didn't pass I didn't even get to the stage of doing the exams. I just stopped. I just told them, you know what, this swimming thing is not for me. So at least I learned a bit to move around the water, but I cannot swim to save my life, if that makes sense. Oh, Jesus. Now that flashing back, it's doing me somehow. But anyways, I'll tell you guys this story because I just need to tell you guys this story to get it off my head, off my chest. I think my husband and my colleagues are the only ones I've told. So on that day, I still had it at the back of my mind that what if? But every single time the thought came, I would answer by saying the worst case scenario is I find myself in the water and I'm going to float. So I was prepared for the worst. I didn't hope for it, but I knew should it happen, I would hang in there, you know. And it happened when it was my turn. So anyways, I was with someone. You guys saw the video. And everything started well. The guys seemed, I think they are very well trained because they handled it well. Chapeau to them. They handled it well. Rescue operation. I don't think it was fast though. Hey, in the Netherlands, within 2 minutes. You guys remember when I had that accident on the highway? I called by myself. I stopped the car after the accident. I called here in the Netherlands. Within, I don't know how many minutes. It was as if they were already behind me when I called because the speed. Because after I called them, I called my husband and I was on the phone with my husband and the police was already there. And I told him, okay, they are here. The conversation with him wasn't even that long, but that is the speed. The Netherlands, they don't play. The police came before the ambulance. The police came and they were talking to me. They opened the other, I didn't even narrate that accident to you guys. That's another thing for another day. I'll tell you guys about that. Anyway, so just to tell you the difference, Dubai, they didn't come quick. I was hanging for my life in that water. And it's not baby water. It's big. It's the Persian Gulf. Google it. So we were there. Everything was just, it was my first time parasailing. I was super excited. I was excited. And my partner was also excited. My swimming partner was also, my sailing partner was also excited. It was also her first time. So we went there and we went up. We started to sail. We were floating in the air. It was good. It was good. Let me just say, and we could see the skyline of Dubai, the entire city coast, more or less. The skyrise buildings, the palms, the palm Jumeirah. We saw everything. We saw the Burj Al Arab, the everything. We were just going. We were just floating in the air. We were in the air. We saw all the boats. We were going. It was good. Let me see. It was good. We were gisting. We could talk. We were sitting down side by side. You know, we were talking. We were laughing. We were moving our legs, you know, freely. We were in the air. We were flying. And we were talking about how beautiful Dubai is. Talking about how good the architectures and how artistic and creative they have to be. But honestly, now I know, well, then I found out that many of the constructors and architects are from abroad. They could just see a building, they'll be like, who built that? A building in France, a building in Italy. Which architectural company set that up, and they would find out that company, that firm, and they would hire that company, bring that company over to Dubai. That's what they do. They have Dutch companies that have worked with them. Even now, there is an Eiffel Tower. Either there is now, or I have seen like a mock-up that it's going to come. An Eiffel Tower. You guys know the Eiffel Tower in France. A replica in Dubai. They building. I think they have one in the Caribbean. I can't remember. I think the Atlantis. Yeah, the Atlantis. They have one in the Caribbean, and they created a copy, an exact. I'm having issues. They created. Hi, Lesedi. Hell, God's time is best. How are you guys doing? Oh, we are fine. I'm just trying to do this video quickly. Yeah, that was scary. Glad you're safe. My son used to when he was in the army, and it was summer. Oh my God, I can imagine. Ooh, if you have to do it once, you're like, okay, I've done it and done and dusted. But if you have to do it for your work no. Ooh. I can imagine my sister. I can imagine. Hello, Mary Elizabeth. Welcome to the live stream. So we were seeing everything, we were watching everything, we were looking at everything, the view, and the weather was superb. Everything was just good. And before we started to sail, I wanted to take my phone along. I told one of the guys that, you know what, because they told me, oh, we're going to make videos and pictures for you. That's another good thing about Dubai, I should tell you. If you go there as a tourist, one of the extras they give you, one of the services they give you is use your phone to take pictures and videos. So even if you go alone, it's not like, oh, I have to travel with someone so that I have someone taking pictures for me and making videos. Even if you go alone, you're not going to lack. There's always somebody there willing to help you. They are begging you like, oh, do you want me to take a picture? Do you want, So they told us that they would use our phones to record us or to take pictures. I had 2 phones with me. So I was like, okay, you can have one. I'll take the other one up there. I have a selfie stick. I'm just going to. So they told me. So I told them, is that not allowed? They told me, madam, it's allowed, but it's at your own discretion and risk. If anything goes wrong, madam, it's your own, loss. So my friend was like, maybe we shouldn't do it. So eventually I just said, okay, let me not do it. In case anything, I asked myself, I still continue telling myself, what if something goes wrong? Then something goes wrong and I lose my phone. Because once that phone goes, it goes. So I just told myself, listen, it's not worth it. And actually I had planned to go with my phone there's a certain pouch, a special pouch that I can actually attach to my selfie stick to hold that phone in place. But I didn't remember to take it along. That's the mistake I made. If I had taken that pouch along, I would have easily taken my phone up there. I would have sailed with the phone and it would have secured the phone in place. But because I didn't have it, I just told myself, you know what, leave this thing for now. So I left my phone down. Imagine if I had gone up with that phone. That would have been goodbye. So we were there anyways. We were there sailing and we were very high. We kept going high and higher and higher and higher. And we're just loving it. We just felt like, okay, even if the sail is over, we've had our day. We just had that feeling like this was good. All of a sudden, we felt something like this. And we could hear the sound like good, good, good. The first time, I thought, okay, it's windy. Maybe it's the wind, but I didn't feel any wind. I just thought, okay. And then another time, it was boom. And then I told the girl beside me, I was like, I can hear something. Do you hear that? What's that? Because me, I was so observant. I was so at alert. I was enjoying the view, but I didn't lose guard. I didn't let myself get carried away. I didn't get lost in the moment. I was there up there, but I was still very attentive to every single thing. I was, So every change I noticed, every turn I noticed, every height I noticed, and I would tell her, oh, we are going higher, oh, we are dropping, oh, you know. So when that thing shook the second time, I was like, did you feel that? So I think she said something like, oh, maybe it's this and this. So, but in my mind, I was like, let's keep watching. And then we kept going, and I was looking into the boat because once that happened, I knew I needed to look at the guys in the boat. They were far away, so it wasn't like they were just there beneath. They were very far away because we were so high up there. So I could at least see them. So I looked at them. They were busy, they were in motion. But I couldn't see panic. I couldn't see them well because we were so far away. And I didn't see panic, like I said. I couldn't see if there was panic. And then I noticed we started to drop. And then I told my sailing partner, like, we are dropping. And she said, oh, yeah, we are dropping. So I said, then we kept dropping. And I was like, oh, maybe our ride is over. Because I think the ride was supposed to take 45 minutes or 15 minutes. I can't remember. I think the entire trip was like 45 minutes. And the sail itself was maybe 15 or 20, if I'm not mistaken. So I said, oh, maybe our ride is over. What's the time? Before my husband will come back. So I said, maybe our ride is over. Maybe we are going back to the boat. And then we kept dropping. But the way we were dropping, it didn't seem normal to me. I had never parasailed, but I would have expected that when it was time to drop, that we would at least be close to the boat. We would at least see the boat, face the boat, and be dropping towards, maybe because of my background in aviation, I can really align these thoughts, like, okay, how you're supposed to land an aircraft. You don't land an aircraft sideways. If your runway is like this, you don't land like this unless you have wind gusts, you're flaring, for example. So I knew the boat cannot be doing its own thing, living its own life, and we are dropping to where? So my mind, the moment we started to drop, my mind started to tell me, maybe it's normal, but maybe it's also not normal. She was still there having fun, waving her legs, but me, I was also having fun, but I was very alert. So we kept dropping, and I was like, we are dropping. She was like, oh yeah, we are dropping. And then we started to get closer to the Persian Gulf, and I was like, we are getting closer. And she was like, yeah. You know that moment of delusion, that moment when you know something is about to go down, but your mind is still telling you those people are professionals and nothing can go wrong, and the boat is perfect, the parasail is perfect. But me, knowing what I know, we kept going down. And when we were really like close, I told her, oh, maybe they want our feet to touch water. Maybe they just wanted us to play with. I was like, oh, that would be fun. Because I was telling, I was trying to make excuses. So I was like, oh, that would be fun. I would like to touch this, to feel it, you know? And we're getting close. And when we almost hit the water, I knew this was an accident. When we almost hit, that was Mayday. Immediately I knew it was an accident. She didn't know. She thought, oh, they just want us to play with water, or they just want our legs because I said it. So she felt, oh, maybe that's true. And later she thought, oh, actually, before we get into the boat, we would have to go into the water. I was like, hell no. I have seen videos. We are not supposed to go into this water. We are just supposed to land back on the boat. From the air, we go back into the boat the same way we took off. So I knew at that point that something could go wrong. I wasn't certain, but I knew that we were going too fast. The closer we got to the surface, the faster we were, we didn't drop. That's the one thing I'm grateful for. If we had dropped, it would have maybe been another story. We didn't drop like abruptly. It wasn't a hard landing. It was more or less, it wasn't just at once. if that makes sense. So the moment we almost hit the surface of the water, I knew I had to brace myself. She didn't brace, I did. So, and how did I brace myself getting in? So, we went fast, like I said, and the moment our legs went, our knees, and I just moved my head. I didn't go like this. She went and she ran. You know, the collision that she experienced with water, you know, going in like this, and the water is there, and you have that attack. It went into her brain. From what she said, she swallowed salt water and it was mad. But because I was prepared and I braced myself, immediately my legs, my feet went, and my legs, I noticed I just shifted my face and raised. I'm telling you guys how I survived. And I shifted my head. So I didn't go like this. I shifted my head and raised my chin. And I kind of, the water hit me like this. And all my hair, I was having this long hair, everything went in. And I think my face also, yeah, I think my face, my head went in, but very fast. And I came back up because I was wearing this life vest. It went so fast. The moment we hit, it went so fast. I think I went in, like just went in and bounced back up immediately. And that was the moment I just told her, this is bad. We just had an accident. We just crashed. And that was when it dawned on us. Like, we looked around. Vast body of water. Thank God there were no speedboats, no, you know, nothing crazy. Imagine if there was a speedboat coming, flying, and then on your head. Oh, God, nothing like that. It was just us. We're just there in the middle, and we're looking around, and help did not come. And along the line, I panicked a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not quick to panic, but if they had prepared us, like in aviation, they'll tell you Mayday, you already know, you need to kiss your ass. It's over. You know, you at least you're prepared. This one, you were still in doubt, like, are we going to have an accident? Is it an accident? Is this how it's supposed to be? So you're just confused, and I didn't know what was happening. We were just there, and then I panicked. I was like, what is this? We just had an accident. And she was hanging on to me. She can swim well, and she just told me, float, just float, keep floating. And I was like, what is going on? What is, you know, I wasn't crying or anything, but I was just shaking, like, this is happening to me in Dubai. My husband is not here, my children are not here. And we just hung on to each other. I hung on to her, like, I hope I'm not making you drown. I hope I'm not pulling you down. She was like, no, you can't even pull me down because I'm wearing a vest, so I cannot sink. So we were just both there hanging on. And then eventually we broke out in laughter. That was the moment of ease, because we were hanging in there for a long time. And hi God, she told me to float, to try to float on my, no, to not to float, to stand, like I should behave like I want to stand. Me, I was trying to float on my back. That one was so, it was so comfortable for me to float on my back, kind of, to just be there. And eventually I was back in the boat. The boat was there, and I couldn't turn to look at what was happening. But anyways, I forgot to tell you guys this. Before we entered, I looked over. You know, when we're close, before our legs entered the water, I looked over at the boat. I saw the guys moving about frantically. Like, this one would go there, the other one would go there fast. I knew, it don't happen. Anyway, so I also, when I was in that water, I also wanted to have a visual idea of what was happening in the boat. I wanted to know what they were doing, but I couldn't, unfortunately. So I don't have that imprint in my mind to at least know how the guys were, what they were doing in the boat when we were in the water. Were they afraid for us? Were they panicking? Were they, you know? I don't know what they were doing. She could see them because she was facing the boat and I was like this and I couldn't see. I was trying to float on my back and she told me to try to stand, to act like I wanted to stand. My brothers and sisters, I tried it and I started to somersault. was the moment we broke out laughing. And I told her, no, 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 I'm somersaulting. We started to laugh. We laughed so hard. But and she told me she drank so much water. I was feeling so bad for her. So anyways, we were just there. We were there for long. Eventually help came and they were able to move the boat close to us, or they were able to pull us to the boat. I don't even know. All I know is I was floating and eventually we were just by the boat. One of the guys dived into the water. I don't even know if I should tell you guys this story. One of the guys dived into the water and they okay, I think the girl told them to take me first, you know. And I was telling him I cannot swim. So I was like, hold me, carry me, carry me. I wanted him to carry me. I didn't even want to try anymore, like just carry me out of here. So he was trying to hold me up for me to climb. There is a ladder just at the side of the boat. So it's not like a helicopter rescue mission that they will just pick you up. No, you still had to climb into that boat. So there was this ladder, and you know boats are like this. So the ladder was like this. So imagine having to climb like this. And then I started to climb. So when I got like just almost to the edge, one was waiting for me. So he held my hand. He wanted to pull me in. Guess what? I pulled him. I can't believe I'm so strong to pull a man. I pulled him and he was just about to come, and then I let go because of course if I had hung on to him I would have pulled him, right? So I let go immediately, seeing what was about to happen, because I didn't even want to make the effort of, you know. So he left me, and then I told myself, you have to, the guy was pushing me, he was pushing me to, you know, the one in the water was trying to help me up. But I had to do the work. I had to do the climbing. And then that was when my finger got stuck in between the ladder. You guys saw when they were trying to put a plaster. My finger, can you guys still hear me? My finger got caught in between the ladder and the boat. So the boat is like this. And yeah, the ladder is like this. And my finger was just in between. And I was like, my finger. For some seconds I tried to, so until the boat kind of shifted a bit like this, you know, when it's floating on the water, it shifted before I could quickly remove my finger. And I just kept going until I got inside. When I got inside I was dizzy, you know, like, okay, I just went through this. I got inside, where is my phone? That was the first thing I asked. Where is my phone? He gave me my phone. One of the guys they were like, madam, are you okay? They were panicking, they were worried for us. Like, okay, they gave me water. They're trying to, you know, calm me down. I just sat down and I was trying to just process everything that just happened. Like, is this a joke? Is this a scene from a movie? You know, like it was just surreal. Like, this happened in Dubai. And then my friend, she said, I didn't even see how she came, but she said she had to do it by herself. She didn't let anybody, you know, pull her up because she would pull him. So she just said she did it by herself. But when we got in, they were praising us for how brave we were, that other people would have lost it. Because that was actually it was a serious accident. That's the last thing you want to see happen to your clients when they come parasailing. You don't want them inside there. You just want them to have a good time, come back and take pictures and be happy. But we landed where we shouldn't have landed. So it was a disaster. So, but we handled it. We're just there and we came in and we were talking and they just looked at all that because they thought we were going to raise hell. Like we're going to start calling the police or, you know, I think they imagined the worst. But we came back into the boat. I asked for my phone. That was the first thing. And then they talked to us. They calmed us down. They tried to help me with my injury, my wound. And then they had to transfer us into the other boat. But before they transferred us, I wanted to know what happened. I asked, what went wrong? What happened? I was waiting for them to tell me, madam, you were shaking your legs too much in the air. But that wasn't it. They said the propeller failed. Actually, they thought it was the engine. They said, oh, madam, the engine failed. Because, of course, the propeller stopped to rotate. It's going to affect the thrust. It's going to affect the engine. So they told us the engine failed. I was like, engine failure? but they didn't know better anyways. So it was when we got into the other boat that they got information that it wasn't the engine that just woke up, decided to fail. It was the propeller that failed. How did the propeller fail? Because they were trying to fix it while we moved into another boat, into the rescue boat. They tried to fix it and they found out that the propeller got caught in a rope. So, you know, the propeller is doing this, and if a rope tangles it, it's going to fail. So that's what happened. And the propeller powers the engine more or less, because there is a shaft that connects the propeller to the engine. And the engine failed subsequently. So that was what happened. And the boat couldn't move. And once that happens, you are up there, you are hanging, you are attached, you are also going to, your parachute or your sail will fail. So that's what happened to us. So the rope inside the water decided to get to work when it was my turn to go parasailing. That's what happened to us. So they fixed that and they compensated us. I cannot go into details, but we made our demands. I stood, you guys know now, Netherlands woman. I stood on the on my right, and they didn't argue it. In fact, they started to offer us extra, like on top of what we asked for. You know, it was good. We settled it well and amicably right there, right there. We put it in writing, because my friend was actually like, we should have it in writing, and they made sure of that before we left. Yeah, so we settled it well. It was well settled. We were compensated. No authorities were called in, because I imagine, I don't know, I didn't do the research, but I imagine that it could have had grave consequences for that company, that parasailing company. Because there are different companies there that do all these parasailing and water activities. So I think they have licenses. So if an accident happens, and well, I don't think this one would have been their fault, because I mean it was debris in the water that caused it. So I don't think it would have been their fault, but we might have left like a bad reputation or a bad name if we had gone crazy, we had gone online. Oh, look at this company, we had shown the name, we had written a review. It would have affected them, even if it might not have affected their license, because it was beyond their control. But I'm happy with the way we settled it, out of court, out of, you know, every other thing, out of the news, and we told them also we are not going to mention your name, we're not going to mention your company, even if we talk about it, it's our story, but we are not going to put your name out there. Everything was good, settled, done, dusted, we moved to the next one. So that was my accident experience in Dubai. And after then I had another appointment, and I was getting dressed up for another appointment, and I was looking in the mirror like, Blessing, you just had a heavy accident. Honestly, I was still having my injury. I was still wet all over, all through. My changed and got into other clothes and moved like nothing happened. And I was like, the strength of a woman. Even the lady with me was like, whoa, you know, I can't believe we just went through that an hour ago. You understand? So yeah, my Dubai experience, Jesus, in the Persian Gulf. How many people? So I go back to work. They were like, "And you are here. You are working. You came to work." An average Dutch person would be off work for like a week, trauma and sick, and you know, it actually, it's a traumatic thing. It's something that can actually make you go crazy. Like, I just, for you to just tell yourself, I just went through this. You know, you didn't anticipate that, you didn't bargain for it, and it happened. But I thank God we handled it well. We laughed it off, but somewhere at the back of my mind, always like, I survived it. That could have gone pretty south, but I think I'm just a strong person, if I may say that for myself, that I can take something that is almost life changing and just take it as a normal thing. So, am I going parasailing? Excuse me, am I going parasailing again? Hell yeah, I'm going again. When next I go to Dubai, I will go. Ugh, I ate before I came, guys. So When next I come to Dubai, when next I go to Dubai, I will go parasailing 101% because I didn't complete my journey. I didn't do it well. I want to do it properly. I want to do it well the next time. The next time I'm going to film myself up there. I'm going to go prepared. So, yeah, I'm glad I shared that with you. When next I come, I'll see if I still have one or two other things, other shocking things about the UAE that I haven't shared, that I put in this phone. And I'll share it with you guys next time. If not, we're just going to move on to the next topic. And the next topic is going to be financial wisdom. I think I want to call it that. Financial wisdom, financial maturity, how many people remain at the same financial level, and people think, oh, maybe this rich people thing is for rich people. Who was born? Some people are destined to be rich. Some people were born into wealth. But the people that just become rich didn't just become rich because they got lucky. Some people, you can get rich because you're lucky. But sometimes you have to work your way out. You have to get it by yourself. And one of the things that obstructs us from getting it is our spending lifestyle, the way we spend. And that's where I want to focus on. There are different reasons why many people don't attain that level. Being rich is a very relative term. What some people call as I'm rich is not what other people call or see as wealth or being rich. Wealth is different from being rich. Um, for some people, if they have $1 million, for example, they consider themselves as rich. Some people with $1 million, they're like, no, I'm just starting. They want to have 50 million, 100 million before they know that, okay, I can chill. Now I'm rich. So that term is for everybody to determine what is for them rich. I'm not going to tell you what is rich or at what point do you consider yourself rich. You know for yourself. What I think what we don't have is what we consider as being rich, if that makes sense. It depends anyways, because some people don't have it, but with what they have, they still consider themselves as being rich. There are different reasons why we don't attain that level of I'm rich. One of those reasons is because we spend away our wealth. We spend it away. We buy things and we make other people rich, and we remain regular. And we see other people, oh, that person is rich. Those people are rich people. We are helping them become rich. We are making them rich. And we stay regular. What makes you think you don't deserve to be one of those rich people? Why do you keep spending off your rich potential? That's what I want to talk about next video. I don't know when that is going to be, but hopefully today is Thursday. Maybe during the weekend, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. Maybe not tomorrow, I don't know. But anyways, when next I'm able to come live, this one is so black. Jesus. When next I'm able to come live, I think my husband is back after 8. When next I'm able to come live, we are going to talk about finances, about saving, about maybe not really about investment. No, we are not going to talk about investments because that's another ballgame entirely. That's another case study entirely. That's another school of school of engineering entirely. We are just going to talk more about how we spend and how that prevents us, how that blocks us, the things we spend on as women. So guys, start thinking about some of those things so that we come here and we all put them together. We compile them so that I learn from you. Maybe there are still some things that I'm doing, that I'm spending on now, that I don't realize it's even one of the things. Maybe if I hear it from you, then I'm going to realize, okay, blessing, you are still guilty. But I'm able to do that video because I've grown so much when it comes to spending wisely. Oh, Jesus, I have grown So I feel like I'm equipped to talk a video about it with examples of myself, where I'm coming from, in terms of spending, how I used to spend, and where I am now. So get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Let me go, guys. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this video. I don't know if all comments are showing, but for the ones that I have seen so far, I want to appreciate all of you for being here. I want to thank you for your comments, for saying hello at least, for those stars, those people who gave me stars, Wanda and Janice Tibbs. Thank you so much. God bless you. And I'll see you guys in another video. If you watch this video on another day, let me know what you think about everything that I've said so far. Oh my god, we went from culture shock to accident in Dubai, but it happened. I survived it, and I'm laughing over it, and hopefully it never happens again. And even while I was there, I remember I still told one or two people, and they were like, you went through all of that? I did, and I took it with a pinch of salt. I didn't let it ruin the rest of my vacation. So again, thank you so much. Let me go now. I will see you guys when I see you. I might come live tonight on the other page. I might. I don't know. It's already late now. Anyways, it's late now, after 8, before I go and prepare and go to bed. Let's see if I still have energy. I'll come back on the other page. Let's talk about Regina Daniels. A lot is going on, and I just feel like let us talk about it. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow or tonight. Yes, thank you all so much once again, and I'll see you guys. Bye. Okay, YouTube. This one, that the YouTube video is so dark. I don't know why. Jesus. I've been sitting down in one position. Oh, let's end this one up. And